What's going on, everybody? It's Ricky with Videohomicide, and today we're coming with a movie review. All right, it's one that I've been wanting to watch for a long time, and it sort of has a sentimental and historic value to it for me personally. So today I had my folks over, I had my dad, my mom, my little brother, and we watched Dirty Harry, which I fucking love. Love Dirty Harry. I think it's one of the best Eastwood films. Like, if I had to personally pick my favorite Eastwoods, we're talking Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Dirty Harry, and Gran Torino. Those are the ones, man. I love Clint Eastwood. He actually shares a birthday with my grandfather, and unfortunately, I will never know if he knew that he shared a birthday with Clint Eastwood, because he would fucking love that. So, anyways, we watch Dirty Harry, and then I'm thinking, okay, I gotta, like, in the back of my head, I'm like, I got all these video nasties I gotta watch. Don't really want to throw in a nasty for these guys, but I do want to watch something I've never seen before, something horror, get something that, out of my list of my YouTube rips, my DVDRs and shit. Beyond the Door from 1974, directed by a fellow that also directed one of the nasties I watched recently, I think. But this movie is notoriously known as like a Rosemary's Baby ripoff or Exorcist ripoff. It's sort of a blend of both. I wouldn't really call them, I guess you could reference it to Rosemary's Baby because the woman's pregnant, and you could relate it to The Exorcist because, like, there's parts where she's puking up fucking, grossness and stuff. The director is Ovidio G. Assonitis, and I know he directed Madhouse, which is another video nasty, which is fucking phenomenal. I just did a review about that film for the Video Nasties list coming in October. Spoiler alert, this year for 31 Days of Horror, it's all video nasties. And I'm putting out a zine at the beginning of October as well that is all video nasty stuff. We got a bunch of crazy artists. It's Cinema 187 issue 4. It's going to be fucking awesome. But before I talk about my thoughts on the film, I got to quickly say this anecdote about it. So, my mom, when she was a kid, she saw this movie with my grandma, and her story goes like this. Like, as soon as they heard, like, someone say the name Dimitri, like, in the beginning of the film, they couldn't watch anymore, the beginning of the film. And she talked about this, like, that experience, like, over the years. Like, I remember her mentioning that a few times because, like, for her, having a son, two sons, really, that are, like, totally into horror films and stuff, like, it's something that I remember her saying. And today I fucking realized that it was Beyond the Door. And we sat here and we watched it. She liked it. I liked it. It's not nearly as good as either Rosemary's Baby or Exorcist, obviously, being like an Italian ripoff. But some of those Italian ripoffs are fucking phenomenal, and I'm the first to admit that. And this movie is good. There is goodness to it. But it's fucking long, dude. Like, there's a few scenes that could be cut right out. Like, that scene where the husband, this is assuming you've seen the film, like the scene where the husband is walking down the street when he's been, told by Dimitri to leave the fucking apartment, and there's this guy that's playing a flute with his nose that starts, like, following him, and then, like, the rest of his band starts following him. Like, that scene felt like it took so long, and it didn't have to be in there. There's a few moments like that in this movie. Great score, by the way, but fuck me. The movie goes like this. So there's this family, and they live in San Francisco, and the dad of the family, he's like a recording, he works at like a studio, like a recording studio, and that's how he makes his bread. And his wife becomes pregnant, but it's confusing as fuck because the dub that I listened to, at one point the kids are calling their mom by the first name. Later on they're calling her mom. So I don't know who the fuck this woman is to these kids, but they're all in this house. She becomes pregnant, of course, and shit starts happening in this thing because earlier in the beginning of the film we find out this Dimitri fellow used to date her, and like he's got ties to like doing exorcisms or some bullshit. And there's this, like, right at the beginning of the film, like his car goes off the cliff, so you don't even really know if he's alive in the film or not. What the fuck's going on? But he knows everything about this family, basically, and what's happening with the wife, and he is following around the husband. The husband confronts him, and it's sort of like average. It was an average movie experience for me because I was expecting so much more insanity, and there is some insanity involving the kids, where they're in the bedroom and the floor's lighting up, sort of like not nearly as good, but like Hellraiser style, where you can see the light through the floor beams, which I always like that. Shout out to Clive Barker in Hellraiser, because I've got a piece that I'm working on for the next installment of Raise the Dead, which is my solo zine, and it's Hellraiser related, and I'm excited to draw it. I've actually drawn it 2 times already, had to can it both times because I fucked it up beyond repair. And that happens happens to me all the time, but yeah, the mom is the one that's infected in this film. She's pregnant with a demon, with the devil baby, you know what I mean? And she starts to go fucking Linda Blair style, but like not nearly as intense. Oh my god, I can't believe I almost forgot this. One of the most fucked up parts of this movie is the kid, the young son, who can like talk to this fucking spirit and all this shit. He's got an obsession with eating soup with a straw. So he's walking around with a can of soup, pea soup, drinking it with a straw. And I think that's like, I don't know if that's a nod to Exorcist or what the fuck, because I know they use pea soup or whatever, but it gets so insane that in his bedroom there's a fucking Campbell's soup, pea soup picture on the wall. It's not like a Warhol. It's just like, it's ridiculous. I don't know why that stood out to me so much, but we get a decent amount of the demonic possession moments with, you know, the mom like talking crazy and stuff. And there's a lot of like really just kind of quick cutaway, you know, flashbacks and stuff throughout the film, which was fine, but yeah, I don't know, to call it like an Exorcist ripoff, it's like, yeah, it's a ripoff, but not in a good way, you know? Like, I've seen way better Italian ripoffs than this. Like, watch Contamination if you want to see a really good ripoff. Watch, what the fuck's that movie called? Shocking Dark, which I believe is a Bruno Mattei film. It's a fucking Terminator 2 ripoff. Like, Terminator 2 meets Aliens ripoff. It's a good time. And Contamination's like an Alien ripoff. It's fucking good, you know? But this movie was not that great. I know a lot of people praise it. They love it. You know, like I said, average for me. Not the greatest. But I'm glad that I watched it, because I finally got to experience the film that my mom talked about for years, about how they had to turn it off and go upstairs. And, you know, my uncle was like making fun of them for years about it. And they would go like, Dimitri, and all this bullshit. But yeah, Beyond the Door, I would recommend it. Yeah, I appreciate everybody for stopping by and watching and staying tuned. You know, I know there's been a lack of videos coming out, like actual uploads, more just the Friday night streams and stuff. But like, again, it's because I'm currently making videos for the 31 Days of Horror 2023, and it's hard to fit. Like, if I record like 2 videos in a night, or like 1 video in a night, it's kind of like, I'm good, you know? Because you kind of get like, you run out of shit to say, because I don't know if you've noticed or not, but all these reviews are like 1-take deals. And there's times where I have to restart a fucking video multiple times, and people could say, oh, why don't you just edit it and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, you know what? I like to think that I can, you know, get a fucking group of thoughts together and put it out without having to fucking shred the video into a million pieces. But yeah, 666, adios, peace.